Good morning, good morning. My name is Dr. Champagne, aka Deron Simpson, disc player on YouTube. And today's video will be titled Man of God. I'm gonna say that again. Today's video will be entitled Man of God. And what prompted me to come on today and do this video was listening to I guess you could say an interview where it talked about the attack on Christian men of faith, which is an attack on God. Attack on men, which is an attack on God. Dr. Champagne, what do you mean attack on God? Attack on men, which is an attack on God. I'm glad you asked. What does that mean? In our society, in our workplace, in our communities, we are beginning to always treat men in a manner of despair, a manner of lack of respect, almost second-class citizens. So, to go further into what I'm going to say about this title, Man of God, for me, God is my leader. That is where I get my strength from. That is how I know who I am, through Christ who strengthens me. God allows me to impute a level of leadership, rapport, standards, character, and allow me to be the force that I need to be underneath him and through his blessing of life. So my question to you is, what are you leaning on? Dr. Champagne, what do you mean, what are you leaning on? I'm glad you asked. Are you leaning on the Lord? Let's figure it out. Are you leaning on faith? The faith of a mustard seed. But faith without works is dead. So are you leaning on the Lord? Do you have faith of a mustard seed plus the works? Or are you leaning on other people, aka codependency that I keep talking about? Are you leaning on others to give you this strength, to give you this character? Because they can't give it to you. They cannot give you what's not yours. God has to give you this. Allow yourself freedom. Allow yourself freedom. Space to accept God. I'm going to say that again. Allow yourself freedom. Space to accept God. Because God is freedom. Dr. Champagne, what do you mean space? I haven't been to outer space before. What do you mean space? I have my own place. When I say space, clear up your mind to accept God, to accept Christ. When you go to work, be wary of the environment that you're in your settings, in your communities, in your family, to make sure you're not blocking God out to be with these people. Others. I'm going to say that again. Make sure you give yourself space with yourself, away from community, work, environment, friends, and all this other stuff, to be with God. Because a lot of times these groups and organizations will always remove God. These groups, workplaces, and organizations intentionally remove God to put themselves in front of God. They may not come out and say it, but when I try to remove your boundaries, when I try to remove your sense of character, sense of purpose, sense of self, how you identify in the world, whether that's religiously, spiritually, how you are in your character of ethnicity. You will always find people picking and try to remove things off of you because you are the resemblance and reflection of Jesus Christ. What are the ways that they do that, Dr. Champagne? How do they try to remove it? Oh, I'm gonna tell you. The hair, that may be one. Yeah, we really want you to go with a buzz cut. Oh, really? Can't do that. Okay, how do they do it again? Oh yeah, the garb on women's hair. Sometimes it's for religious purposes or for men as well. Yeah, we don't accept that in our community. How else do they do that? Well, over here, in order to join this club, you got to do A, B, C, and D. Just to go to work? Oh, no, man, I can't do that. And then sometimes they take you out of your space, put you in their space, TIME, with all the time. They take your time, removing you from space, from that freedom. And this is where they weaken you. This is where you wonder what's wrong, why I'm not feeling as strong. It's because they're doing their best to take you away from God in their group and wanting you to be just another chain on the link to produce whatever it is that they're producing en masse. Now, that's my speech today on Man of God. The attack on God is how they attack men, by trying to weaken the man through your family, your sister, your mother, homegirls, colleagues. The more they try to weaken the man, who needs to learn how to stand up for themselves, by the way, who needs to learn that this is not being combative. You are a masculine man for a reason. This is not being oversensitive at all. This is saying, I am a reflection of God, who he created first before woman, and I will always stand 10 toes down on my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I will always stand 10 toes down on who he created me to be. I will always stand 10 toes down to operate my home, to operate everywhere I go at a high level. And you got to make sure, as a man of God, that you got to get rid of this mentality of thinking they gonna like you because they ain't gonna like you because they hated him first. You got to get rid of the other men who are leaning on others, claiming to be a man of God, who can't stand up straight on their own. You got to get rid of these friends. You got to get rid of these homeboys. You got to get rid of these losers, because these losers will kill you based on their own fear, based on their own insecurity, based on their own trying to fit in with others. They will always deplete and desecrate you. They will always make it seem like, oh, bro, just fit in. Oh, bro, don't do too much, bro. They always giving us this, that, and the third. I don't need nothing that they giving me. The Lord give me everything I need. I was going to do another topic about organizational behavior, but I think today's message just need to stick with Man of God. I think today's message really need to be honed in on, if you say you're going to be a man of God, if you say you really operating and moving the way God intended for you to move, with righteousness, but with force, with strength, with faith, to be a teacher, to be a learner, to be a student, you will wear that face of humility. But that doesn't mean you will not have the sword to go to war. That does not mean you will just treat women like they're above you. I said it, like they're above you. Talking to you any kind of way. Hun, boo, but I ain't your hun, I ain't your boo, I ain't your baby, I ain't your friend. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. You need to learn how to carry yourself at all times. You need to learn that people see you shining from a mile away, 2 miles away. You need to learn that, guess what? They hear you. They see you. You are not invisible as a man of God. You are not invisible. You need to know. You need to know that when you are a man of God, you will take on many obstacles, many challenges. You will go through many changes in your mind, in your heart, and in your environment. You will go through so many changes to where people will not recognize you anymore. You will go through so many different seasons. You will not relate to anybody anymore. You will go through so many hurdles to where strength is your name. Power is your name. Honor is your name. You will constantly battle everything that the Lord has already battled. This is the force used to mold you into a complete being, a complete man of God. And they do their best to remove God from the family, from the organization. You don't even see a lot of men in these organizations like that. Because the more I can put the weaker vessel in position, the easier it is to clear the board. The easier it is to clear the table. Ain't no man in the house. We're going to ransack this house. Ain't no men in the church. This church ain't standing on solid ground. Ain't no men in the community. Yep. Gonna smoke them out. It won't take long. Ain't nobody gonna come back with no power. If you claim to be a man of God, you claim to be a warrior. My name is Dr. Champagne. I thank any and everybody who listened to this video. I want you to understand that you have a duty in this life. Now, many people may not want to accept their duty. Many people may not want to accept freedom. God is freedom. Many people may not want to hone out the space necessary to have that freedom. Space in your heart, space in your mind, space in your place. I'm going to leave you with this. I want everybody to put on the full armor of God every day. I want you to put on the full armor of God every day. Do not walk out your house, your car, your room without putting on that full armor of God. People will say, well, why are you so guarded? I got the full armor of God on me. Why are you so protective? I got the full armor of God on me. You come off so secretive. I got the full armor of God on me. Dr. Champagne here, Deron Simpson. Please have a great rest of your day. Eat something, and just enjoy your life. You know, don't put confinements on your life. Enjoy your life, but make sure you make space for Christ.